Not everybody needs to go to college. Not everybody ought to go to college. And not everybody wants to go to college. And I really think that we're doing students a disservice when we beat this relentless drum about gotta go to college, gotta go to college, gotta go to college. Don't fall for that. Today I want to talk to you about college. The question is it worth it? If you listen to high school guidance counselors and many parents and so on, they'll tell you, yeah, it's worth it. You know, if you don't get a college education, you're just going to be a nobody, you're going to be stuck working in a dead-end job, yada, 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 right? Well, let me bring a little perspective to this. In my former life, I taught at a community college. I taught math, okay? I taught algebra and trig and business calc and statistics, by and large. So, I've seen the types of students that often wind up in general ed courses, like such as the ones that I taught. And the fact of the matter is, a lot of the students that were in those courses that were at school, at college, they really shouldn't have been there. They were just wasting their time, frankly, and wasting their money. If you've ever heard of the Pareto principle, that's the principle that says that there's 80%, or it's also called the 80-20 rule. 80% of your success or money or what have you comes from 20% of your business, that kind of thing. Well, I would say that probably at least 80% of the students attending college really shouldn't be there. And that's not to say that they're dumb or stupid or anything like that. Yeah, there are some that simply can't handle college level coursework, and for them to be going to college, they're just wasting their time and their money. And honestly, they would be better off pursuing something else, trade school or what have you. Then there are some that can handle college level coursework, but the thing is, they're just not interested. The main reason why they're attending college is because mommy and daddy want them to go there, or they've had this drummed into their head forever and ever that you got to go to college, you got to go to college. If you want a good job, you got to go to college. But I think one thing that we have learned over these past few years is that, you know, college isn't everything it's cracked up to be. It's way more expensive. Certainly than it was when I went to college. That's for sure. But yeah, the thing is, so many students, they take out a bunch of debt just to go to college, and then they have this promise of being able to earn it back because they'll have higher paying jobs and all that kind of stuff. But then how many stories do you hear about, you know, kids graduating college and they're stuck delivering pizzas or what have you? It's an illusion. It really is. I've said this for quite some time, that there's a lot of students that are attending college that have really no business being there, frankly. I think a lot of people would benefit if, instead of going straight to college out of high school, instead take a gap year. Go do something else. I don't care if it's travel or working some other job. But I think you need that distance to kind of really figure out what it is you want to do in life. Some people are able to figure out early on, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to be a doctor, I want to be an engineer, what have you. And then good, you can pursue that. But even so, I think it would be beneficial to go out in the real world, quote unquote, and do something and talk to other people, especially if you want to pursue some kind of career that involves a major commitment of time and money, such as being a doctor or what have you. Go talk to an actual doctor and find out what's really involved. Because you may find out that you may say, oh, this is my dream since I was a little child, but the thing is, maybe you had a romanticized dream that you held on to. Maybe you have an idealized version of what that job entails. And if you talk to somebody who's actually done it, that will help you to understand not just the rosy picture, but all the hassles with it. Then you might change your mind. And it's better to find out before you go to college than sinking 4 years and how many thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, and to find out that, whoops, this isn't what I wanted. And it's not just, somebody pursuing a medical degree or what have you. Anybody, you can think, oh, my dream job is XYZ. And then you pursue that degree or whatever, and then you get out and you start working in that field, if you're lucky even. And you find out, wait a minute, this sucks. Why did I do this? I don't want to do this anymore. So that's one reason why I would say, take a year or two off. Figure out what you really want to do. And along with that, ask yourself, do I really need to go to college? If you don't need to go to college, why bother? Why take out the loan? Why get yourself in debt? Why waste all that time? So, yeah, I've been an advocate of that for quite some time, and I speak as someone who was teaching for over 10 years. I taught, I was an adjunct faculty, meaning I taught part-time, so 2 or 3 classes a semester, that kind of thing. Not all jobs need a college degree. If you're going to be an engineer, then yeah, you need a degree. If you're going to be a medical doctor or a vet, then yeah, you need a degree. Certain other things you need a degree for as well. But the vast majority of jobs that are out there, a degree is just a formality. And you're better off getting real life experience and figuring out what it is that you really want to do. Of course, ultimately, you're the one who has to answer the question, is college worth it? I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't just jump into that feet first without first exploring what you're getting yourself into and what other options you have available to you. Not everybody needs to go to college. Not everybody ought to go to college. And not everybody wants to go to college. And I really think that we're doing students a disservice when we beat this relentless drum about Gotta go to college, gotta go to college, gotta go to college. Don't fall for that. Think for yourself. Ask yourself, is it really worth it for me to plunk down tens of thousands of dollars or take out a loan for tens of thousands of dollars to get this piece of paper so I can do whatever? You have to do a cost-benefit analysis. Is it really worth it? And another thing, too, is with the rapidly changing job landscape, employment landscape, by the time you get out of college, will your job even be there? Will your dream job even exist? Maybe AI will take it over. I don't know. A lot of people put a lot of stock in AI. Other people say that AI is way overhyped. I don't know. But you have to look at trends and realize that trends are not a guarantee, of course. You have to see, you have to be smart about thinking about what kind of jobs will be there and where there's the greatest demand. If you're thinking about a job where you can earn a bunch of money. Believe it or not, when I went to college, way back when, I got out of high school and I went straight to college. And I guess you could say I was either naive or perhaps idealistic, but when I went to college initially, the first few years, getting a job was the furthest thing from my mind, because I went to college with the thought of, I want to learn. I wanted to learn about physics, and I wanted to learn about calculus. I had heard about these things, and I wanted to find out more about them. So I went to college with the idea of just learning. It didn't even dawn on me that you go to college so you can get a better job. And then, because I was a math major, I took, early on it took, 3 semesters of calculus and then a semester of differential equations. That's kind of standard. And of course, with those classes, a lot of the other students there were engineers, because the engineers needed the 3 semesters of calculus and 1 semester of differential equations. And I remember the professor talking about, when you're in a job, you're going to need to do this, you're going to need to do that. And he's primarily speaking to the engineers, I think. And that was the first inkling that I had that other people had different motivations for going to college. That other people were not motivated by a sincere desire to learn, a sincere love of knowledge, but they're going just for getting a meal ticket, I didn't know that. If you do want to go to college, ask yourself why. That will help you to figure out whether or not college is something that you ought to pursue. So that's my little talk for today. I hope you give it some thought. And don't feel bad if you decide, hey, I'm not going to go to college. A lot of people are coming to that conclusion, and it's better that you figure it out before you spend however many years and however many thousands of dollars pursuing something that's just not worth it. Okay, if you like this video, that's great. I hope you found it informative. Give it a thumbs up and subscribe and share it with a friend. And let's get a discussion going in the comments. What do you think about college? Is it worth it? Is it overhyped? Did you go to college and then later regret it? Let's talk about it in the comments. I'll see you later. Bye.